Welcome to the Enroller Resource Center. My name again is Pat Galla, and over the next few minutes I'd like to address the needs of the insurance carriers. If you've not had an opportunity to view the video on the front page, we encourage you to do so at this time because we think that it lays a good foundation for what you're about to hear here. In that front video, what we talked about were a few reasons why insurance carriers are now turning to the contract enroller community for help. Cost is an important driver, as we said, and if you think about it, if you have to staff a benefit fair and you have to fly somebody there and it's a two-day event, you're going to save a minimum of $1,000 worth of travel expenses right off the bat by using somebody local. You're going to save on airline ticket, hotel expenses, rental car costs, food, etc. So cost is an important driver. Not having to pull your people out of the office is an important reason. As we stated on that first video, using staff that is from that community, they can relate to that buyer a little bit better than you might be able to, or the individual who you would be sending sometimes. So using people from that community sometimes can have a great impact on participation. But quality is what you're interested in and what we're interested in here. Maybe that's been the reluctance that you've had in the past to using outsiders to go in and staff your meetings. So I'd like to spend just a minute on the topic of quality. Our vetting process when we get candidates in the door is a two-step process. One, you'll notice up here under the Enroller tab there's a profile form that we ask the enrollers to complete. And that profile form takes into account what designations they have, the number of years they've been in the business, whether they're a bilingual, what products have they worked with, what settings have they worked in, have they done formal presentations, have they only done benefit fairs, have they worked one-on-ones with employees. These are some of the types of questions that we ask that individual. So that's the first step in the vetting process. The second step of that vetting process then are telephone interviews. Once we find out what products you're going to be offering worksite, and once we find out what setting that's going to be, maybe it's one-on-ones, maybe it's benefit fairs, maybe it's formal presentations, then we do that telephone interview so that we can better establish what their experience is, because we're interested in matching up their abilities to what your need happens to be. We want that and you want that. Ultimately, the goal here is to have increased participation, but to have a happy client. That's what you're most interested in. But we have some additional quality checkpoints along the way, not just that two-step vetting. We also use software to help us better zero in on that right candidate. We use an evaluation form that is a post-case form where the site contact writes an evaluation report on the individual that we've sent. We've used this with success in the past few years, and as a result of using this, we really know now in our database which people have performed best in certain communities around the country. We have a debrief form that is done post-case by the enroller. That's an additional quality checkpoint along the way. But all of that aside, training will be very important. Many of these individuals have many years of experience and they're extremely bright people. But nonetheless, they'll still need training on the uniquenesses of the process and the uniquenesses of the product that you will be asking them to present on your behalf in the field. So training is very important. We've helped create various training materials for some of our clients, and this training material takes into account a great many items like travel guidelines, what the carrier expectation is of that enroller while he or she is out there representing you in the field. The products themselves, of course, are very important, but the onboarding process, including background checks, all of that is explained or should be explained in the training materials. the online time and expense submission, so you don't have hassles and we don't have hassles after the case is over with. So the enroller can simply file their time and expenses in an online environment. So you don't have to get involved in that. You can design this any way that you'd like to design this. I've simply given you some examples of how we've done it in the past. But training is a very, very important key to this being a success for both you and us. So what can we offer you as the carriers? Well, I've already mentioned training. Fortunately for you, if you've never used contract enrollers before, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has been spinning for years, and so we can help you with insights from other processes that we've worked on. We can help you design the program so that it will work and work well from day one. We offer you the onboarding capabilities that I mentioned with background checks, etc. We offer you varying training capabilities, including online and on-demand. This can be important in the fall months when these quality enrollers are not available for a WebEx on a Thursday afternoon, let's say. They can train, if we set it up that way, as their schedule permits. So if they are only home on the weekends long enough to change out some clothes in their suitcase, they can train as their schedule permits. We think that this is a very important progressive step in the training that we're able to do. Scheduling. Scheduling can be a very important component of this and a very time-consuming component of this. We then give case confirmations to each of the enrollers so that they know where they're going, who their contact is going to be, and we give them a process in place so that we make sure that they get there ahead of time, and that it's a successful event for both you and us. Then we offer post-case reporting, and this is important, we think, because we're able to give you post-case the cost per event to staff that meeting on your behalf. So you can compare that to last year's cost, and you can see whether or not we're doing the job that we've said that we would. So with that, we'd like to ask you to contact us if we can be of any help in the immediate future. We have a search form that you'll see on this page that you can complete and send to us, and we can begin. This search form is more or less your wish list as far as what credentials you want for that contract enroller, the number of years that they've been in business, whether they have formal presentation experience. Whatever your wish list is, you tell us what it is, and we'll fill that wish list. So again, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. Stay as long as you like. If we can be of any help, feel free to call us. Our objective here is to increase your membership. We've done it for others, and we can do it for you. Thank you for visiting.